RPG Maker is quite a prolific tool that can be used not only for RPGs as the name suggests, but also to create games of other genres. The Casebook of Arne is one of those games, making use of the software to create an intriguing first title in a murder mystery adventure series. The Casebook of Arne tells the story of Lynn, a noble girl whose mother died years ago. Her father continues to grieve and deny the event, acting as if she were still alive. His health has been deteriorating over time, and he's been clearly unable to control the household, forcing Lynn to act as a composed young woman in her position as the house heir would demand. She learns of a serial murder case happening in town, and after seeing her father going out, she decides to follow him. On the way, she finds two corpses and a person in a brown coat. Afraid of what could happen to herself, she runs for her life and ends up in a dark and mysterious place. There, she discovers the coffin of a vampire detective named Arne, whom she recruits to investigate what's going on. After some debate, the two begin investigating the bizarre incidents and how they're related to a mysterious death. Not spoiling the story details, the plot is quite interesting and has good twists along the way, which is what I was looking forward to. Besides the whole mystery, it offers some comic relief, especially with Lynn being a vampire otaku whose fascination with the Dark Lords can be a little overwhelming at times. It also becomes a compelling drama as the girl learns what's going on and develops a partnership with Arne. The Casebook of Arne consists of 3 chapters focused on the same case. The first chapter offers a look into the world and its characters, and the second gives more details around the case as the protagonist investigates what happened more thoroughly. By the end of the second chapter, the player is guaranteed to have all the puzzle pieces. Figuring out who the killer is totally possible by then, but that doesn't really resolve too easily. The third chapter is the grand finale, focusing on revealing everything and using some extra theatrics, like creating a fake courtroom battle for dramatic flair. Though most of the gameplay is composed of dialogue, the game offers more than just interacting with characters and objects. There are small stealth segments, and at some point it's possible to use Arne's power, turning him into a bat, fog, or manipulate his blood to make a puppet show and analyze the crime. Lynn also has to point out what's wrong with people's testimonies and do some other investigating related minigames. None of them are hard or complicated to deal with, but they add some good variety to the game. However, I have to point out that I had issues with some small bugs. In a specific segment, Lynn has to pick cards that represent 2 suspects' situation, but instead of being spread over a screen, some cards are on top of each other. Elements of the interface in a different minigame also didn't show up as intended, making it harder to know what to do. However, those issues are the exception rather than the rule. By completing some of the mini-games without getting anything wrong, the player will be rewarded with a small extra bit in Chapter 2, and the same can be said for Chapter 3. It's also possible to obtain 12 books. Actually, they're just a few words, but nothing big, by interacting with objects in those chapters. Those are mostly insignificant, but it's still a nice touch to have them as the game is quite linear and simple. Another interesting plus is the art of supernatural events. It includes effects like vampires' red eyes, a blood web covering the screen, and a dark area with multiple hands coming from the top. Some scenes with unique illustrations can be quite stylish, like a red and black depiction of the vampire detective. The Casebook of Arne is a delightful murder mystery that successfully mixes lighthearted comedy moments and intriguing plot twists with darker narrative elements. Through a variety of minigames and some supernatural powers, it makes for an engaging gameplay experience as well, despite being a little too simple in that aspect. Linearity makes the game feel a little hollow, without much to do besides the main plot beats during its minimal time of only about 6 hours. Still, the characters grew on me, and I'm very excited to see what the next cases in the series will be and where they'll take Lynn and Arne. Noisy Pixel is giving the Casebook of Arne a 7 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Please read the full review at noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers who work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.